Okay, we're going to keep this going here because I actually do this. I think it's a topological model for me. I bring it up for the reference. I want to have these videos ready for a set because that's where my YouTube Zcoins coming into Marshmallows blockchain when I want to give it a tug, see what I can get out of the tomb for Marshmallows, or put those down for 5-cent ecologies.
You take what you can get. Eventually what happens is you kind of settle into the job, and even in traffic enforcement, you learn how to navigate that world a little bit better.
So, I want to talk about, like I said, when I got tagged for my pot garden mic, and I want to bring it up to the table at what goes on in the cruiser when I had one driving and one next to me, and I'm just trying to be nice, I understand that inside of there, I really don't want to be moving any faster than causal, and that is at that speed. Sometimes that's hard in a long trip to Delhi with 2 officers sitting inside there with you, and you're not going to help anything in the world but to bring up some of those concepts. No, it was just normal everyday stuff that you see everywhere. People overtalk each other, there's command stuff, there's obviously in the system, you got a guy in here, maybe you want to talk to him, maybe you don't want to help, maybe
if that was the case, I'd write a lot more tickets.
It's not our, I'm a stonemason, right, not a cop, and when it comes down to it, it's like a lot of this comes to my house anyways through probation, and it winds up being a training aid through the system on the docks. All the variables farm, there's going to be the probation officer keeping in mind about what that is in there. But those are just probations that are on the working floor. That's generally what the difference is when you can actually get somebody in the cruiser or run Fermilab from the captain's position or something. Like, that's a cruiser. When you do have the team in the system, I like to bring this up for something I'm building. When I get to that, it's just whether I'm there, town meeting, come hit Mike or one of the guys around town, if it ever happens, I'm glad to have it ready. I want you guys to try to get a unit system out YouTube. I want you to improve this. I want you to catch that. Well, that's what it is. It's not impossible.
There's got to be some type of tip or trick. No. There's not.
I wanted to double tap this and come back to this because I wanted to emphasize something. It's the 4th of July. Like I said, I'm out here going to be smashing it like that. I don't go out and drink. I'm not watching fireworks tonight. I'm not chasing any rabbit except for these. I'm down in Marshmallow here, trying to be the danger needle. But I got the door. I'm sure, I hope he is from 17. Real close.
Is to help them not do that again. That's really the goal of all law enforcement. Is to enforce the law in a way so that people's behavior change and they...
Today's topological models for being the 4th of July and why I might put something like this has a lot to do with the universal speed limit and talking yourself into tickets.
My goal really isn't to inconvenience your day. My goal really
B42. We're just, I'd see the blinky LED over this MOSFET chip according to the 8-bit clock on, because those are real close. I mean, they're on a straight line in terms of the element that he's in, but he's a good person, so he's taking more slits up in terms of the wave function that passes through. And that's fairly graphable. Like I said, I don't know what he knows about astrology. I don't know what he knows about virology. I don't know what he knows about black bodies and leveling the curve. I'm sure he has at least a few hits, but like I said, there are M1, M2, and Mn variables on what those do, along with theta, tau, the tachyon here. That moment where we're going to start Bernoulli in that equation, and we start graphing that, that's Hutter's prize. And it's like, okay, you're going to have, it's like my team right now, you're in the area, closed off gravity, I'm sure you could, and you know what, maybe there's something on things, none of them was in the car here.
No, it's not.
I might be able to learn that through what this is,
that you weren't paying attention,
and
you did it on purpose because you didn't think anybody was looking, or whatever the excuse is.
It's still pretty good though, right? You're going to handle a lot of that radiation in there. What would hit somebody as gamma, it's going to bounce off this guy like just, a photon banging off of him.
There he is. Tell the truth. Just be honest. Yep, I was running late.
A little
for work,
bit
and
if
I
I'm in
know I
the
was going
room,
too
but that's
fast, and I
causally
shouldn't be,
when you
but I
realize the
obviously
conquistadors
to do it
might be
anyway.
out there.
Well,
And,
isn't
well,
that
I
refreshing?
try to
You
take
see,
out
I
the
got
lodges.
these
I
new
really go
tires.
through and either they
Oh,
withstand
yeah,
or
my
they
spit
won't,
down.
and I
It's new
don't
digital
ever know
display.
any
I
of them.
really,
Know them
I
out
don't
there.
quite get it yet.
It could
The numbers
happen,
seem
and
so
it shuts
different.
down
Oh,
a
I
lot
got
of it.
call
Like I didn't
from
need to
my
do
friend
anything at all.
Marge next door,
You know, it's out
and
there.
she said that it
Pass
sounded
around the
like my
brothers.
dog
You
got
know,
out,
if
so
somebody
I
did you
was
graph
trying
it?
to get home
Jordan's
too
out
fast.
there. Get
All you're doing
the
when
hand
you're
to call
being
here,
dishonest
and I'll
just making
get him in the
excuses
stone
is
mill.
indicating to the officer
Or I
that
get one of
a warning
those
isn't going to help you
graphing
remember and
systems
drive better
on
in the
what that
future.
is,
So
especially
be
when it's
polite,
in your
be
house.
honest,
But everybody's
and
on
it
the
is
road.
what it is. Again, sometimes you're going to get a ticket no matter
When you
what.
do look in town,
Because
you're hitting the
sometimes the
37
violation,
and a 35,
it's
or
undeniable,
registration a
and
day
a
out.
ticket can result.
You know,
There's a lot of
it
factors
is.
involved in that.
Let's
So
face
many
it,
that
there's
we
some
really
things
can't
in there,
cover
but let's
in
look
one
at the
little
car,
simple
the
video. If you
title,
want to increase
warrants.
the chances of a
Those are
warning
big things inside of
over
there.
a
Well, it has
ticket,
a lot
all
to
along,
do with
people
whether
be
you do or
honest.
you
It's-
don't. And that's
because
going to be whether
sometimes
42
I'll be
is your
walking out
death
to a
or
car
hedging the
with
curves
the
here
full
for
hope
you
and
as a cop.
anticipation
And it
of a
wants to
quick
be your friend
conversation,
inside of there
hoping
about
to make them aware of what the mistake was,
Salty
what the
being that
violation
number
was,
for,
and send
again,
them
you
on their
know,
way. Because
if
a
you're
lot
not
of
making
times I'm
enough
just thinking
turns,
about, am I gonna get a
that's
taco,
bad for
or
the
am I
area.
gonna
If
get
you're making
Chinese?
too many
And let's get
turns,
this over with.
it's bad because they'll know you're
that's
doing
not
that.
good
It's like
enough
you
for
can
some
do
people.
things with
Some
setting
people
off
have to
one, and
go
people
and
know
when they're
syndicates.
wrong.
It's
Afternoon,
like
sir.
if they
Why
can
are
hit
you
this
pulling
area,
me
turn
over?
over something
Stop me
else.
from running the red light
You gotta
back
have a
there.
command
You have
mobile post,
no
otherwise
right.
they're
You're
all gonna
pulling me
run
over
over there,
when you could be catching murderers
checking
out
out
there.
who got
There's
shot
rapists
inside here,
out there.
cops
Don't you have
everywhere. We have
something better to
protocol.
do? Like go
Watch the
pepper
guy on
spray
here
some
shot a
college
guy
kids?
in a
Yeah,
hospital that had a
not seeing
gun
what that has to do
to a
with
secretary,
red light.
shot him in the head. As soon as it happened, full unit come in, ARs, click, click.
Are you
We
finished?
cleared it out,
You gotta
2
make your
people we need
quota,
in the room,
huh? I
and
know
we're
you
done.
gotta
And it
make your
follows it.
quota.
Why?
Whatever.
Camera,
You are harassing
system,
me, sir.
court,
You are harassing me.
timelines on
That's
these
right. I
values,
pay my
and those
taxes.
systems take
I
care of
pay
that.
your salary. You can talk to my attorney about this. I'm gonna call my attorney about this. You know what? I'm gonna let you keep talking, and I'm just gonna go back to my car. I'll be right back. Watch out for the dog poop. Don't step in the
And
dog
check your first
poop.
stuff,
You
see what you
wiener.
got on here.
All right, here's your citation.
Immediately,
sir.
it's just
Are you
you're
serious?
going to be
Giving me a
nice
ticket
about
right
that.
now?
I
What
mean,
is
when you
it
do look
for?
in town, though,
Well,
I
quite
go to
honestly,
the
because
farthest
you're a
end of
raging
the
bucko.
leisure. I don't know whether
And you
she's
ran the
here.
red light.
I don't know where she works. I can't
most
tell
of
that
the
by her
country.
license plate, but I
That
do
is
have Facebook
unprofessional.
correlated
And
to a
what that type of
timeline
attitude
and
reveals
2
is that you
seconds to
actually
check
don't
that
have
out
any
by
regard
today's
for
standards
others
for sure.
in the way that you conduct yourself on the road.
Is
What
that
it indicates
going
is
to
that
make
you
a
have no
difference if
respect
I
for those
could
who are
have
out there
extra second,
trying
one
to keep
extra
others
second
safe by
on
enforcing
protocol
those
timelines
laws.
of
And what
POVs
that
inside
means
here
is
to
that,
check
you know what?
the terminal, be
Here's your
like
ticket,
first post out of
because
this,
if a
or
conversation
coming in
and
from
getting involved in a traffic stop isn't enough for you to
squeaky
tweak your
wheels and
mind in
brakes
order to
and,
change the
well,
behavior,
you know,
then
it looks
yep,
like
you can
Hurricane
pay
Bob
the
out there on the
$150
road.
or $200, and you can get the points in your license, and you can have the insurance go up, and you can have all these things.
See, when I
as a
hit the
result.
insurance though for
You
him,
can
it's
be
like I gotta have him
inconvenienced
get
for
in
more
work.
time in your day than you
You're
wanna
taking
be.
him off the work
But you
program.
know what happened?
You're ganging him up,
yourself into.
and then they're going to
There's
do
a
it.
lot more that can be said about traffic stops and
So,
warnings
I
and
mean, it may not
tickets.
be a huge problem in my
We'll save
region
that for another day.
because the gangs can't support
Later.
the meth addicts down here. They're not gonna. But it certainly has aspects other places of how universal speed limits work. Now, again, you know, just real quickly, let's, I think I got a little bit more time here. I didn't just start that one off in the middle. I
What's
bring
up,
it
guys?
up because
Mike
I'm not a
McCoppin.
cop.
In today's
I
video,
didn't realize it
it
was
is
him
a
again, but
tale
alright.
as old as
He gets,
time.
I've seen this one, I think I just saw
Bar
the
fighter
one video
Kevin
of it.
decides to get in trouble while Corporal Ostman
The
is
bar at
working
the
an
bar.
off-duty
I'm
gig
gonna
at a
hit you
bar
with Jack
and
Daniels and you get
detains
these guys around
Watson
you to
for
check
said
your
bar
attitude until
fight.
you figure it out.
And when Watson
Right?
chirps
Because it would be
for
inside
a
the reactor
while
chamber. They're gonna pick
and
up on all
spits
that
on the
neutrino,
corporal,
dust you
corporal
off,
decides
make you
to
better.
knock
Some of
out
that's good skill.
Watson.
Love the skill. You're
You can
not
see for
single. You're not trying to do things. None of that stuff benefits the community with other workers, and you fucking that up in the game. Think about that stuff. These are again what happens in here when you spit on a cop, spit right in the face. Now again, I don't necessarily think it is protocol, but it's certainly on the index of, well, let's take off protocol and see what happens. Alright, so when the odds go down but it comes back up real hard when you're tied up like this doing doing dumb shit like that, well, I want you to look at it right now in case I had any one of those case studies in Delhi right now that I could just pose this safety video to. Now, come on. Come on. You know I'm not out here trying to bust your balls. The best answer is to zero this off right across the board and get you right back on the leisure and get whoever your fucking boss is off of your balls, right? Because that's what you want. Otherwise, you got your own construction crew, right? Your system, your shit and gear about this bar over here and how the taps work, the cleaning crew works, the glass, the shit like that. Because maybe then you'd have a fucking problem if it was bad. But you seem to be drinking and having a good time out here tonight.